And let's see. So let's go. Let's get started. Okay, so let's start by taking a look at, hang on, let me close up all these. You guys see the bell schedule? We got a lot to do today, so let's get going. So you guys, when is period 3 start tomorrow? Finals, minimum day, collaboration. Tomorrow's collaboration. We start at 12:52. So make sure all your homework is due on Friday, by the way. All your homework is due tomorrow. So you're going to upload those. So let's take a look at that, actually. Let's take a look at that, how I expect you to upload those assignments. So go to Lego Batman, Lord Business, and what do we got here? So, oh, it's not showing up here, but it'll show up. I think it's going to show up here tomorrow on the to-do list because it's due tomorrow. So here's where it is. It's under modules, and the assignment that's due tomorrow, module 2, right here. Lesson 2.3 through 2.6. Okay, upload assignments. Okay, so you click on that and you click submit assignment. So and then you do this on your phone and you take pictures, file upload, and then take a picture. This will allow you to take a picture. So what is it? We're going to do assignments 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, upload your work from lessons 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6. There's 4 assignments, 10 points each. It's worth 40 points. Okay, make sure you take pictures of it. Okay, so that's due tomorrow. Okay, so make sure you know how to submit that. Are there any questions on how to submit that? Okay, so let's look at the the weekly agenda for today. Here we go, weekly agenda. So today we are doing 2.6. Okay, so let's write out on our notebooks. Let's write down what we got. We got your name, the date, 1/28/20. Can you believe it's year 2021? I cannot believe it. Period 3, the topic. Okay, so I'll write that out. Okay, the topic is, you could see it here, quadratic functions, characteristics of quadratic functions. So write that down as the topic. And then that's what I'm writing down, characteristics of quadratic functions. And it is 3 through 55 every other odd. Okay, you understand? On page 87. Okay, so I'm going to go to my chicken scratch so you guys can see what I wrote down. Have that written on your paper right there. Okay, a lot to do today. Okay, so here we go. Here's the main thing that we got to write down. First of all, you guys remember what a quadratic function is? quadratic function? How can I identify a quadratic function? Okay. Oh, yeah, how do you identify a quadratic function? You remember?
No.
Any idea? Look at your notes from yesterday. We talked about yesterday. How about Alex Garcia? Can you help Aaliyah out?
Don't know.
What's that?
I don't know which one are we on?
Oh, are you look at your notes for a quadratic function, Alex Garcia?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is a quadratic function, Alex Garcia?
I don't know.
Does anyone know? Does anyone know what a quadratic function is? Daniel Reyes. What's a quadratic function? Come on, guys, we got to get through this.
Is it the formula?
That's a quadratic formula, which you use for quadratic functions. But I see, maybe I'm a horrible teacher.
Would it be a parabola?
Okay, quadratic. Okay, yes, a quadratic function makes a parabola. Yes, who said that? Was Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. So a quadratic formula forms a parabola. But here's a quadratic function. Write this down. Quadratic. If you don't know, so when I ask you tomorrow, you know what it is. A quadratic function has x squared in it. Has x squared. Not x cubed, has x squared. Is the highest, is the largest exponent. Okay, so and it forms a parabola. Example of quadratic functions. So here are my examples of quadratic functions. I'm going to give you 3 examples of quadratic functions. Examples. This is important. These 3 you must know, okay? There is, let's see, how do I want to do this? The 3 examples we have are example number 1 is in vertex form. Vertex form, okay? That's going to look like this. Y equals A times X minus H squared plus K. We talked about that yesterday. That's a quadratic function. Is there an X squared? Yes, X squared. Okay? The numbers would look something like this. Y equals 2 times X minus 7 squared plus 3. Okay, that's a vertex form. That's a quadratic function. Another one would be in standard form. Standard form, which would be y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Or with numbers, make sure you write all of these down. Y equals 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. Okay, that would look like a quadratic function in standard form. You've seen all these before. Anyone know what the last one is? By the way, there's my x squared. Factored form. factored form would look like this. Y equals x minus q times x plus p. Or, in numbers, y equals x plus 3 times x minus 7. That is factored form. Okay, those are all quadratics. Where's my x squared? Well, if I multiply this out, x times x is x squared. Okay, there is an x squared there. They all have x squared. Some are invisible, but it's in there. So make sure you write all that down. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Vertex form, standard form, factored form. Those are all quadratic functions. And we're going to look at them all and figure out what's good about what and how to graph them and stuff like that. What time does class end today? I don't even know. Should we just stay forever? We start at 10. I think it ends at 11:46, somewhere around there. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this in 10 seconds unless someone needs to write this down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Alex Garcia.
Yes.
Hey, tell me one of the quadratic forms. Give me one.
Give me a second.
Alex, wait. Oh my gosh, what? Alex, don't turn your microphone off. Keep your mic on. I'm trying to talk to you. We're just delaying the class. Alex.
Yeah, hold up.
Should we all wait? Alex Garcia, see me after class.
All right.
Okay. I can't tell if you're even paying attention or not, Alex. Okay, so that's what we got to talk about that. Okay, let's see. Aaliyah, give me one form of a quadratic function. Come on, so we can move on. Come on, Aaliyah.
Vertex form.
Vertex form, very good. Thank you so much. Alex Garcia, did you hear that? Bryson,
Yeah, I got
give me another. Okay, Bryson, give me another one besides vertex form.
Standard form.
Standard form, and then finally factored form. Okay, you guys should have all seen that before. Okay, so let's look at the homework assignment. It's 3 through 55, every other odd. All right, so here we go. 3 through 55, every. So let's do number 3. You guys see it? Number 3. Okay, what's it asking? Now, remember, if you get stuck, it says see example 1. You can scroll up to example 1, and it shows you how to do it. Example 1 shows you how to just follow the example if you get totally stuck. Okay, but I'm going back to number 3. You guys can find, okay. So graph the function, label the vertex and the axis of symmetry. So what form is that right there, number 3? What form is that? What form is that? Number 3. Eduardo, tell me what form that is. We'll get back to it. Keep flipping. Eduardo, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, what form is that? Number 3.
Is it a factor? Oh no, man. Is it?
You know, you could say factored form, but that's not. That won't help you. It is kind of factored form, but that's not the answer I'm looking for. So it's one of these, vertex or standard. What do you think?
Vertex.
Yep, vertex. It just doesn't have the K, right? This is the H. So remember, my H is -3. We did these yesterday. So my H and K, H comma K, the K is really 0 there. There's no 0. So H is, what is my H? What is my H for that? Emily, what's my H?
3.
Yes, very good. It's +3. Thank you so much, Emily. So that means my K is 0. So if we graph it, you guys ready to graph it? Put it up here. You guys make sure you do this on graph paper, right? If you're having trouble getting graph paper, you let me know, because the assignment, you get credit if you have graph paper or not. If you don't have graph paper, let me know and I will fix that. And then next time, let me know when you can get graph paper. But here my vertex is 3, 0. So I go over 1, 2, 3. And then remember, over 1 squared is 1. Over 2, 2 squared is 1, 2, 3, 4. We talked about this yesterday. And then there you go. Boom. So this is basically what we did yesterday. Number 3. Okay? That's it. That was in vertex form. Okay. I'm moving on. I'm going to get rid of this in 10 seconds. All right, next one. That was number 3. Let's look at the next one we have here. Stop me if I'm going too fast. So 5, 7. Okay, so now I got to graph this one. Then we'll move on. So we have here y equals -4 times x minus 2 squared plus 4. So let's figure out our h and k. So you guys writing that down? Figure out our h and k. And then we got to focus on the a, which is -4. Remember, the negative makes it go upside down. Okay, I'm going fast because we did this yesterday. And it's a minimum day. Okay, here we go. So I'm probably not going to be able to fit that. There we go. Okay, what's my h and k? H and k, let's go with Jada. Not Jada, Javier. What's my h and k, Javier? Javier?
Sorry, I thought my mic was unmuted.
Oh, no problem. What's our h and k?
The K is 4 and the H is 2.
Very good. So we'll say 2, 4. That's my vertex. So let's go over 1, 2, up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. There's my vertex 2, 4. Remember, it's the opposite of this. So now this is a negative. So it means we go upside down. Since they're going up, over 1, up 1, I go over 1, and then I multiply it by -4. So instead of going up 1, I go down -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Catherine. Catherine Laura, are you there?
Yeah.
All right. Is this making sense to you?
Yeah.
How I went down here? So where would my next one be? I go over 2. How far down am I going to go?
4.
Well, remember, I got to multiply by -4. Catherine, don't mute. Catherine.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you understand? Why did I go all the way down here? Do you understand, or do I need to explain it to you?
Well, no, because y is 4, so then it's 1 over 1 and then down 4.
Yeah. So if I go over 2, you said go up 2. How far down should I go if I go over 2? Well, let me ask you this, Catherine. What's 2 squared?
4.
Times -4, what do I get? 4 times negative 4. Instead of going down 4, I got to multiply by negative 4.
Negative 8.
4 times negative 4 is negative 16. You're adding. I think you're just under the pressure, right? Does it make sense that it's negative 16?
Yeah.
Well, 13, 14, 15. Now I can't, it's so far down there, but I'm just showing that so that you guys can see it's like this. Well, I kind of missed the point there. But it looks something like that. You guys get that? Let's see. I don't know. It seems like we're kind of off. Everyone I'm asking questions are like people are just having a hard time answering them or what. So I can't tell if you guys are understanding this based on the people I've asked questions. So I'm looking at you all. So give me a nod if you understand what's going on. Don't lie. If you don't understand what's going on, do not nod, but say yes and say I get it so far. Okay. So I only see like 3 or 4 of you nodding. Okay, so ask questions then. What are your questions? And make sure you're like paying full attention here, right? You can't like, you guys got to be making sure you're writing this out. You know what I mean? Make sure you're writing it out. Okay, so I'm probably the next person I'm gonna have you write, see what you have on your paper. I'm having a hard time connecting to you guys today. Seems like. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Laura, what's going on today? Is it a bad day or something? What's up with the class? Can you tell me? Laura Punto?
I don't know.
How are you feeling today? You feeling out of it or are you in it?
I'm just feeling a little bit tired, but it's not, you know.
I don't know.
I'm good.
Okay, Mario, how about you? What's going on with the class today?
I'm good.
Yeah, well, what about the class? What do you think's going on with the class?
I get most of the stuff we're talking about.
All right. Well, I'm going to move on. Let's see here. In exercise 15 through 8. So, okay, we did 7. We'll do 11. Let's do 15. I think 15 is what we're going to do. I think that's on our path. We're going to do 15 here. So let's take a look at 15 together. You guys all on that? Logged on to Delta Math? Let's see. Not Delta Math. I'm sorry. You're logged into the Canvas, right? Looking at 15 here. So 15 here. Now, what form is that? What is it asking? Use the axis of symmetry to match the equation with the graph. Okay, so we got to use the axis of symmetry. So what the heck is the axis of symmetry? Well, let's talk about the axis of symmetry. Number 15, this should be pretty straightforward. So we got to match it with the graph. Okay, which one goes? So I have here 15. Does it match with A, B, C, or D? A, B, C, or D, based on the axis of symmetry. So we don't know what the axis of symmetry is. So let's look at our previous graph. Okay, the axis of symmetry, that's kind of an ugly graph. Let's look at this graph, number 3. Okay, this is a better graph because the other one is kind of off. And I'll show you why the other one's a bad graph. It's because of the way I drew it. But the axis of symmetry, the axis means like a line, and symmetry is where you cut it in half, right? It's like where the left looks like the right. So if I was to draw an axis of symmetry for this parabola, where would it be? Where could I cut it in half? You guys can see my ruler right here. See this line right at the vertex. You draw it like this. Dink, 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 dink. Okay, see that? That right there, see that? See my arrow? That is the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry. See how it cuts it in half? Actually, I did a little bit off, but you can see the right looks like the left. Okay? Now, the axis of symmetry is going to be this. The axis of symmetry for this one, the equation is x equals 3. Notice it's this number right there. That is the axis of symmetry. 1, 2, 3. X equals 3 is my axis of symmetry. Okay, so it's the opposite of this number. Let's look at the other one. Now this one, because I drew it kind of weird, it's going to be hard to cut it in half, but you guys know the axis of symmetry is going to be right at the vertex. So my axis of symmetry is supposedly supposed to be right there. There's my axis of symmetry. Okay, so what's my equation going to be for this axis of symmetry? Okay, what's the equation going to be? Let's go with, what's my equation for that axis of symmetry there? Let's go with Kyle. What's my axis of symmetry here?
2, sorry, the line of...
You're on it. Don't give up on me, Kyle.
2/4.
2/4? No, actually. Okay.
2, 0.
Or no, for the whole line though, 2, 0 would be this point right here. You're on it, Kyle, though. You got it. It's x equals 2. That's all you got to write.
Okay.
It's this number here, x equals 2. Okay, that's the axis of symmetry. So then let's go to number 15, and then we should be able to get this. And then we say here, okay, which one, the axis of symmetry for this is going to be, look, I'm going to write it here. The axis of symmetry for 15 is going to be x equals 3. That's my axis of symmetry because of this, because my vertex is 3, 1. So my axis of symmetry is going to be there. So let's find where the vertex is 3, 1, and the axis of symmetry is 3. Let's see if we can find that. Okay. Vertex is 3, 1. 3, 1. So this one, the vertex is 1, 1, 2, 1. Nope. This one is, nope. What's that one? -1, 3. And look at this one here. 1, 2, 3, 1. Axis of symmetry, x equals 3. That's 15 right there. You just put C. That's all you have to do. X equals 3. Okay, are there any questions on 15? Go to 55. How are we doing on time? About 20 more minutes? 15, 17. Let's look at 19's next. I'm going to move on from 15. 19. In exercises 19 and 20, use the axis of symmetry to plot the reflection of each point. Okay, so we just plot the points. You just mirror it, man. It's all you got to do is mirror it. So you guys are going to have to graph that. So draw that picture and just mirror it. That's all you have to do. So I have here, I'm going to draw the graph. I'm drawing the graph so it looks, and find the vertex. Where's my vertex? At 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then my next point is over 1, down 1. And then over. So all they want you to do is just mirror it. I mean, using the axis of symmetry. So knowing that the axis of symmetry, all you have to do is just, hey, there's my graph. I just drew it. The axis of symmetry is going to go here, which means the left looks like the right. And so to finish the graph, you just complete, oh, if this is 1 from the axis of symmetry, then I have to go 1 over here, right? If this is 1, 2 from the axis of symmetry, then this will be 1, 2 from the axis. That's all they want you to do, is just finish the other side of the graph using the axis of symmetry. Okay, so that, what number was that? I didn't even write it down. That was 19. 19, using the axis of symmetry. Remember, all this is due tomorrow. Got to get it in tomorrow, guys. Sorry, I'll get rid of this in 10 seconds unless someone needs it. 5, 4. Huh?
I thought this was 15.
No, it's 9. 15. No, we did 15. That was the 8. Remember, this is 15 here. 15 was we matched this up. We said that this where x equals 3, so it's C. So this 15 matches up with C. And then 19, I had to finish drawing this graph. Am I going too fast? Maybe that's the problem. Okay. 21, 23. Okay, graph the function, label the vertex. Okay, here's where it's going to get using the axis of symmetry. Okay, now this is, we're going to have to put this. So look at this. So this is in number 23. This is going to take a lot. Make sure you take your notes on this. Y equals negative 4x squared plus 8x plus 2. Okay. What form is this in? Okay, what form is this in? Y equals negative 4x squared plus, we have to graph that. Okay. What form is that in? Let's go with Steven. What form is that?
Is that I think, is that standard? I don't know.
Yeah, it's standard.
Okay,
so to
cool.
graph this, I think it would be easier to do this in vertex form. So we have to put this in vertex form by completing the square. By completing the square. Okay? Raise your hand if you've heard of, I've done that in math too, completing the square. Okay. All right. Do you guys need help? Raise your hand if I remember it, but I still need a little bit of a review, Sensei, on how to do this. Okay. All right. This is hard. I think this is hard, but there's a couple ways to do it. I'm not sure which way I'm going to show you. Here we go. Okay, here's what you're going to do. Completing the square. Here are the steps. Follow the steps closely. First step, make it easy. And we're going to put the +2 way over there. Okay, so I'm going to do this kind of quick because this takes like a whole day to do. I'm going to show you in like 5. Oh, thanks. Thank you for letting me know I was not presenting because that would have been a big cluster mess up. Okay, I think I'm presenting now. Okay, so we have it here. I just put the +2 over there. That's the first step. We're doing this on a hard one. Next, okay, here we go. We need this x squared by itself. So we're going to factor out just from these two. These are separate now. Let's just look at these for a second here, okay? We're going to factor out a -4. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take out -4 and divide them all by -4. So divide this by -4, then divide this by -4. So it'll be -4 times x squared. -8 divided by -4 would be -2x. And then we're going to go like this. Put our parentheses, leave a space there. And then we're going to add the 2. Don't forget our +2 there. Okay, so to complete the square, we need to get the x squared by itself. Now, we want to make this a perfect square, so I need to add a number here to make it a perfect square. So I take this number b, this number here, okay, and I'm going to divide it by 2. I'm going to write it here. And then I'm going to square the whole thing. And I'm going to add that to it, okay? This will make it a perfect square. Now, I'm going to do this kind of quick. If you need help on it more, You can see me after class. If it's a minimum day, you might have to do it tomorrow. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to divide by 2. So I'm going to say negative 2 divided by 2 instead of b. And then I'm going to square it. Okay, I put this negative 2 right there. So negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is positive 1. So I'm going to add 1 here. That 1, I'm just going to add it based on that. Now, this is a perfect square trinomial. If I factored it, it'll be a perfect square. But I completely changed the equation by adding 1. I just can't frivolously add 1. I just add a 1 there. So I have to balance it out. But I did not add 1. Notice that this is inside the parentheses multiplied by negative 4. I added, what is negative 4 times 1? What is negative 4 times 1? Micah, what is negative 4 times 1?
Negative 4.
So I added negative 4 to this whole thing. I increased this value by negative 4 or decreased it by negative 4. So what I need to do, since I added negative 4, I'm going to add positive 4 to balance it out. Okay, so because negative 4 plus 4 is 0. It's all balanced out now. Now we can complete. Now we've done all the hard stuff for completing the square. Let's remember, I took the 2 out, factored out the negative 4. I took this negative 2, I divided by 2, and I squared it, and I got the 1. Okay, so here we go. So now it's going to be y equals negative 4. We can factor this out. It's a perfect square. Trust me on this. Square root of x squared is x. Square root of 1 is, what's square root of 1? 1. Because of this minus, I put that in there, and I square it. And then 2 plus 4 is 6. Now, it is in vertex form. Okay, so because we're short on time, I think I have time to explain to you. A lot of you are probably saying, how the heck did you go from here to here? Notice like x squared minus 2x plus 1, I changed it to that. Do I need to explain that or in more depth, or am I good? Raise your hand if you need me to explain that. I'm looking at all of you now. Okay. Again, this is like a review from Math 2, so the only way I can explain it will be hopefully you understand how to factor stuff, right? Do you guys remember how to factor? Okay, so let's do a little side project here. Okay, see this here? See how I'm writing it here. Well, let's see. Let's hide this. Okay. I have x squared minus 2x plus 1. I'm just focusing on this part of the equation here, right? So how come it becomes, you're wondering, how does it become x minus 1 squared? Well, do you guys remember how to factor, right? I don't know. This is how I showed my students. Put a 1 and a negative 2. What times what equals 1 and adds to negative 2? What is it? What are two numbers that multiply and equal 1 and add and equal negative 2? Someone yell it out.
Negative 2 and negative.
It has to multiply and equal this. Multiply.
Negative 1.
Negative 1. And negative 1 is what you meant to say? Negative, yes, that's right. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Negative 1 plus negative 1 is negative 2. That means that this, if I factored it, is equal to x minus 1 times x minus 1. Is it not? You guys remember how to do that? And x minus 1 times x minus 1 is x minus 1 squared. So what I did here, when I added 1, I made it a perfect square. So it'll be x minus 1 times x minus 1. So I know that this will be x minus 1 squared. That way, it is in vertex form, and now I can graph it. So let's go ahead and graph it. You guys, I think you should have seen that in Math 2. Let's see, how should I do this? I'm going to draw it right here. My vertex is 1, 6. My H and K is 1, 6, right? Over 1 up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoops, sorry. You see that better? H and K is 1, 6 over 1 up 6. And then it's got the -4 over 1. Instead of up 1, I multiply by -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over 1 down 4. Over 2 down 16. It's going to go way down there. So anyway. So this is how you graph it. Everything that we did was we graphed it by putting it in. We went from standard form. We put it into vertex form. I think it asks for the line of symmetry too. So the line of symmetry is going to be x equals 1. Should do it in green. Anyway, that's that. Ramon, how'd I do?
You did good.
Was that more confusing or did it make sense? Don't lie to me, Ramon.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
All right. Okay. So 27. Oh, I got to do the minimum and maximums. I guess I should do, we have like 10 minutes. I think, what time, let me see. I don't even know when this class ends. Minimum day. We have till 11:46. Okay, 10 minutes. So I'm going to do this one quick and then we'll talk about minimum and maximum. I'm doing it because I think it helps you guys when I show you how to do it. I'm assuming you want me to do 27 because of that -1.5 there. Am I right or am I wrong? Do you guys want me to do that? Speak up. I'm just going to do, hey, okay, I'm going to do it unless you guys say, no, I don't want you to do it. I'm just going to do 27, okay? So here we go. 20. Am I presenting? I don't know if I'm presenting.
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. Is -1.5 x squared plus 3x plus 2. So this is in standard form. We got to put it in factored form. Okay, so let's put it in factored form. So let's go like this. First, put the 2. Let's factor out the -1.5. Y equals -1.5. Okay, x squared. So I divide this by -1.5. What is 3 divided by -1.5? I don't know. 3 divided by -1.5. I'm doing it on my calculator. Does anyone know what it is? You guys are smarter than me. 3 divided by -1.5 is going to be -2. Okay, so it's -2. That's easy. -2x. And then, why am I getting a phone call? Hang on, let me answer this real quick. Hello?
Hello, this is Neil calling from Home Advisor on the recorded line. I'm looking for Aaron Sanchez.
I don't know what that guy wanted. Okay, so x squared. So I bring the +2 over, right? You shift the 2 over. And now, do you guys remember how I find the number to add to it to make it a perfect square? What do I do? It's b divided by 2 squared. Right? So this might be -2 divided by 2. Didn't we do this one last time? So it's -1 squared is 1. So I add 1 but I'm not adding 1. I'm adding 1 times -1.5. So I'm adding -1.5. So to balance it out, I'm going to add +1.5. I'm going fast. Let me know if you need me to pause here for a second. So to graph it is -1.5 times, this is a perfect square. Now you can factor it the way I showed you before, but all you need to do is say, I'm going to pause so you guys can catch up. Are there any questions while I'm pausing? Okay, I'll move on in 5 seconds. Okay, so the way we can factor this is, since it's a perfect square, you just take the square root of x squared is x. Square root of 1 is 1, and we put this minus in between. Just the shortcut of doing it, and this will be plus 3.5. Now you guys can graph this. I'll let you graph that on your own, but the h and k is 1 comma 3.5, right? And then you have to go over 1 down. You have to do the weird, you have to go over 1 down 1.5, and then down whatever 4 times 1.5 is. Okay, so anyway, I'm moving on. That's 27. Okay, this one asks you to find the minimum and maximum value of each function. Okay, so let me explain minimum and maximum. Okay, minimum and maximum. Okay, so minimum means the lowest it can go. Maximum means the highest it can go, right? Minimum is, hey, that's the minimum it'll be. Maximum is the highest that it'll be. Okay, so here's a good, like, so with parabolas, because these are all going to be forming parabolas, like if I went here and my vertex was here, this is called the minimum. It does not have a maximum, but it has a minimum. It has a low point, has a minimum. But if it was upside down, if you will, this has a maximum. So a minimum is going to be like y equals positive x squared. You'll have a minimum. A maximum, you have y equals negative x squared. Like if there's a negative in front of it, it's a maximum. If it's a positive, it's a minimum. Okay, so this is what the minimum. Now, where's the minimum? The minimum is at the vertex, right? And the minimum for this one, if I look here, look at this. This minimum is y equals -2. That's my minimum, because that's as low as I go with my y. The minimum is what? Now this one, the maximum, well, that's, I just so happen to have it, is right here. My maximum is y equals +2. Okay? Because we're the vertex. Now, the minimum and maximum are, what tells us this? The k of the vertex, right? The vertex is where our minimum, it'll be y. Instead of the line of symmetry is x, is the h. The minimum maximum will be the k. Okay, so 5 more minutes. That's why I'm going kind of fast here. So let's look at number 39. Okay, y equals 6x squared minus 1. Okay, so find the minimum and maximum values of each function. Describe the domain and range of each function. Okay, so let's look at y equals 6x squared minus 1. Well, there's no h because there's no parentheses, but there is a k, so my h and k of this will be 0, -1, right? And if I was to graph it, is this going to be a minimum or a maximum? Well, it's a positive, so it's going to go up. So it's going to be a minimum. You don't need to graph it. I'm just graphing for you to see. So I'm going to have here 0, -1 will be my function. So here -1 will be that. And so, and then I could graph. You don't have to graph it, but the 6 makes me go, instead of over 1, up 1, I go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This 1, 2. And you just go like this, flink, like this, flink. And my minimum, it's a minimum, right? Minimum is y equals 1. And you got to write down it's a minimum. So you know if it's a maximum, it's the lowest point. That's my minimum, is y equals 1. And my domain is, you guys remember domain and range? Is all real numbers. Minimum days, man. Domain is my x value, right? So no matter what, this is going to go forever this way. It's going to go forever that way. Even if it's shooting up, it's still going this direction. And this is still going in this direction. So my domain is all real numbers. And my range, how far up and down it goes. Range is y is greater than or equal to -1. I'm sorry. What's my minimum? It's not 1. What's my minimum?
-1.
Thank you, -1. And that's my range. Remember, the range is the y value, and the domain is the x value. And that's the minimum and maximum. And I just pushed it. We have like a minute left in class. I don't even know when the next class starts, but if you have other questions real quick, you are welcome to stay. Otherwise, I think I had someone else stay. Alex Garcia, I need to talk to you. And anyone else I needed to talk to. You guys can go. I'll see you unless you have questions. I'm not sure. When does period 4 start? Bye, Ramon.
What?
Period 4. Bye, Anthony. Period 4 starts at 11:54. So we have about 10 minutes. So bye, Nikander. Bye, Alex. Bye, Olivia. Bye, Lilia. Bye, Laura. Jada, if you could stay after class too. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see. Alex Garcia, how are you doing? Did I mark you absent or what? Are you?
No.
What's your issue? Sounds like you're having trouble over there. What's that sound I hear?
I don't know.
Are you at home?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see your notes. Hold your notes up for me so I can see what you wrote down today.
I don't have my notes right now. That's why I couldn't pay attention. All right. It's not that I wasn't paying attention, but I have my notes right now.
Wait. What did you do today?
I was just paying attention. I was taking screenshots the whole time. That's why I wasn't answering the question.
No. Alex, you gotta take notes, man. Why didn't you take notes today?
Because I don't have my notebook.
Okay, keep going.
Well, yeah, I don't have my notebook right now. I don't have any of my stuff right now. So I was just
Why?
gonna take screenshots and take notes.
No. Tell me why. Hang on a
Because
second.
I left all my books at my uncle's house.
Okay. So you just